Welcome back to NBA Cinema. My video today is a little bit different. We got to talk about Candace Parker and this disrespect of Jalen Brunson that's been going on in the media. And I really just want to call out three people today: Candace Parker, Stephen A. Smith, and Gilbert Arenas. Let's start with Gilbert first. Gilbert, whenever Jalen made the Olympic team last summer, yeah, they didn't bring back gold or anything, but he kept going on and on about how Trae Young is better than any point guard on Team USA. Trae Young hasn't played better than Tyrese Halliburton. Trae Young hasn't played better than Jalen Brunson. It's not better than neither one of those players. And for me, I know people have Tyrese Halliburton at the top of that list. Of those three, I have Jalen Brunson at the top of the list right now as a point guard. You know, you could put him up against pretty much anybody this year as a player. And if you like Tyrese Halliburton, you know, those assist totals and everything and the way he's playing and leading Indiana, that's fair enough. But I will say both of those guys earned the nod last year. And he said right now Houston wouldn't take Jalen Brunson and Randle for Jalen Green right now. As if the Knicks would be stupid not to.
Who actually understand. They have a horrible research team on what talent is because they should have had stars.
Yep.
New York needs one first. They should be looking for a star. Period. I don't give a who I gotta give up. I want a star. I want a Jalen Green, Edwards, right? I want a superstar named first, and then I'm gonna build my team. Like when and we thought it was stupid because it seemed like the same type of player, right? So what my thing is, this team you have, let it go, right?
Yeah, no.
This is how good that Jalen Green is.
Yes.
You give them Randle and Brunson right now, I guarantee they turn you down. Because he's future, right? Once you get future, you build on it. He's 21, 22 years old. So was it Paulo Banchero? Paul the banker. He averaged 20. Jalen Green averaged 22 at the same age. You see it. So if he's the foundation, then why do you?
Jalen Green right now isn't better than any of those players. Shot selection is horrible. And we're still wondering, is he a serious player? Is he just like a more talented, more athletic Jordan Poole type of guy that's not really serious about the game to reach his maximum potential? Stephen A. Smith's infatuation with Donovan Mitchell. I'm going to show you guys what Donovan Mitchell actually said about Jalen Brunson when, remember, Luka was out a couple games in that Utah series. Jalen Brunson led that team, was dropping 40, got two of them games before Luka came back. And, you know, everybody that could see through the smoke screen could see that Jalen Brunson was him. You just have a ball-dominant Luka. Same thing Kyrie struggled with when he first got there. Excelled when Luka was out. Struggled when Luka was on the court. Now, they found a little more chemistry now because Kyrie is an offensive juggernaut and can figure it out on that end. But Luka's very ball-dominant, doesn't give much effort on the defensive end. Very skilled offensive player, but it stagnates the offense because Brunson should have been the primary ball handler for that team to take some pressure off of Luka. And, you know, I think he overused himself and get hurt. But I wanted to say that about Stephen A. Smith. Brunson's been beating Donovan Mitchell for 2 years straight now. And why would you want to take Donovan over Brunson? Because he's been a volume scorer longer in the league, so you view him as a star, more of a star. That's all I can think of. Why did you want Dame in New York? Because he's been more volume scoring for longer, and you feel like he's a bigger star because he's had the opportunity to have the ball in his hands and volume score longer than Brunson has been able to do. We see what Brunson's doing with the ball in his hands now, so you have to gauge him based off of that. And they've gone a game further already than they did with Melo. In the whole Melo experience, they've gone a game or two further in the playoffs than they ever did with Melo in Brunson's first year. Now let's get to Candace. We're going to look at what she said on Inside the NBA last night, and we're going to look at her response to Knicks fans. Let's peep.
We've seen Jalen Brunson in the playoffs with the Mavs, and he was number 2, number 3, came in, played minutes, supplemented Luka handling the ball. But as a number 1 option last year in the playoffs, great first round, second round not so much. So I'm in agreement with her. I do think that also we're talking about offensively, but defensively as well. If we look at what the Warriors had to do with Steph Curry in their runs, defensively, they had to have other top defenders.
So as you can see, Candace Parker was getting the full court press put on her by the Knicks fans, and she tried to change the narrative about, can you win a championship with Brunson? Is he a 1A? And it's funny because other players don't get these questions. How many teams actually win a championship? People that you would think, these people are talking about the Paul Georges and all those people. How many titles have they won? They like these players because they're athletic. They can throw down some dunks. They can make you say ooh and ah with their handles and all this stuff. But Jalen Brunson is leading the Knicks. Does the Knicks need more players to contribute to win? Yes. But I also want people to remember, you can win a title like the Detroit Pistons won. You can win that style of basketball. So you can have a Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton, Rasheed Wallace, Antonio McDyess, Ben Wallace, and also Tayshaun Prince. You can have a team of those type of players that are good. None of them were superstars at the time. That was an older Wallace. That was after injury, Antonio McDyess. And, Billups and Rip and Ben Wallace were playing at an all-star level. Ben Wallace more for his defense and his rebounder. But I'm saying you can construct a team a different way and have the opportunity to win a title. Obviously Dallas had Dirk Nowitzki and they won. But the rest of those guys, their depth. That's why they didn't need. Did they really have like a number 2 or what you would consider a number 2 guy? No. They had a deep team. So before you just go throw all your money on one player, I think grabbing somebody like OG Anunoby as a start, you continue to fill out that roster, get big versatile defenders, get another guy who can probably drop you 20 a night efficiently and play both ends of the floor, get you some Bruce Browns, them type of players, fill out that roster really nice. And you could have an opportunity to win that way too. Now, if the right opportunity presents itself, you can get a superstar. But I want y'all to tell me in the comments, who exactly would that be for the Knicks? Who would that be that they can realistically get? We're going to take a look back at what Becky Hammon had to say about Brunson too. Downright disrespectful. And Kendrick Perkins checked it. Let's peep it.
If your best player is small, you're not winning. John Stockton, Allen Iverson, Steve Nash, you could go down the list. Steph Curry is the only.
But he's not that small. He's not that small. He's like 6'3".
But also, though, he's the greatest shooter to ever walk the planet. He's in an outlier
Class. Okay.
She is right. History says she is right.
Okay, but we're living in a new age, okay, new day. And here's the thing.
This is coming from a big man.
When we think about Jalen Brunson, we got to ask ourselves, what tier do we put him in, right? Because every single time I see him get between those lines and it's time for him to match up against other superstars across the floor, he give them that work and he stand on business. Now, do the results come out as a win when it comes down to the Knicks overall? But hold on. Stay with me. Stay with me. I watched them go into Phoenix a couple weeks and hand them 50. I watched them come down. Right after that, I watched them bounce back, come to L.A. and give them a solid 29. When we watched that series last year, Jalen Brunson against the Miami Heat before they were eliminated, he was going back and forth with Jimmy Butler. I saw a couple of 35-plus point nights. So my thing is, I know he's not the typical, eye candy.
Is he the person that's going to win you a championship as 1A?
This is what I'm saying. All I know is that the last time Luka Doncic had success in the postseason and went to a conference finals, it was paired up alongside Jalen Brunson. What I'm telling
But that's the thing. It was Luka and Jalen.
It was a combo because Jalen had his moments in there as well.
I think that's all that Becky is asking for is a
As
combo.
somebody who used to drop buckets as a small person in that
That's what I was trying to remind you of, Becky.
as a person that used to get some buckets, I'm saying this as a small person. This is a game that the big and bold and it favors that God-given thing. And I love Jalen Brunson. I love Jalen Brunson. But you're going to put him on the level of a 1A. You're putting him with Giannis,
AD, Jason
Steph.
Tatum.
I'll tell you what level are we putting Donovan Mitchell at? What level do we put Devin Booker at?
Well, and how is Donovan Mitchell won in the biggest moments?
What you mean? What biggest moments? What biggest moments?
Well,
what biggest moments has Donovan Mitchell? What has? Let me ask you this. Let me ask you. Okay, but let me ask you this. How far? What's the furthest Donovan Mitchell ever advanced in the postseason?
I believe the second round.
Okay, Jalen Brunson went to a Western Conference Finals. Jalen Brunson went to the Knicks, beat Donovan Mitchell against when he played the Cavs last season, and then came back and lost to the Heat, who went on to knock off not only Giannis before they met up with the Knicks, but they went to knock down the Boston Celtics. But Jalen Brunson did his thing. R.J. Barrett and Julius Randle was not.
So are you saying that he's a one in the NBA?
All I'm saying is we got to stop looking at him and saying he doesn't fit the criteria of actually being a 1A. I understand. I understand he has a whack.
77 years of basketball in the NBA.
I understand.
And it's not a knock. It's not a knock on Brunson. It's just the way things are currently constructed.
Okay, if you swap the two, since everybody said, "Oh, the Knicks need a superstar. The Knicks need this." If Dame was in Jalen Brunson's shoes, would the Knicks be better? No. If Donovan Mitchell was in Jalen Brunson's shoes, would the Knicks be better? Hell no. So why are we not putting him in that caliber?
I can't lie. You know, everybody's making, like, trying to, how do I say this? They're trying to act like Jalen having 41 is, like, you know, the craziest thing. You know, like, that's Jalen Brunson. Like, I know JB. I've known JB for a while. Like, he's a talented player. Like, obviously Luka's out. That's the storyline. But Jalen Brunson can go. So I want people to kind of put respect on that. You know, let's not act like, you know, he's a bad basketball player. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's one thing. I think he deserves respect in that regard.
Now, my whole issue with that is not that she said Giannis, but you look at Luka results, you look at Jalen Brunson results. Hey, Jalen played a big part in that too. Can you definitively say Luka-led teams are better than Jalen Brunson-led teams? No. AD being a 1A, the same AD that quit on the New Orleans Pelicans to go play with arguably the GOAT basketball player of all time between Jordan and LeBron, obviously, but many people see LeBron as the GOAT. And to have that security blanket of LeBron, Kevin Love won a title with LeBron. So is Kevin Love a 1A for a title team? No. AD is more talented than Kevin Love? Absolutely. But is AD an alpha 1A that you're going to win with? Put it like this. Was he ever going to leave New Orleans to a title? No. So just shut all that up. That is ridiculous. Honestly, Brunson is doing better leading the Knicks than AD did leading the New Orleans Pelicans. Let's put it like that. Because Rondo was leading them, really. AD was the best basketball player, but you had Drew Holiday, you had, you had prime Drew Holiday, you had prime Rondo still, you had Julius Randle coming off the bench, you had Boogie Cousins. You had a lot of good players on that team that actually made it to the playoffs. So, no, AD is not a 1A. Jalen Brunson is more of a 1A than him. It's proven that he's able to do more with not having LeBron James on his team. So, no, I'm not giving you that. I don't care about how much more talented he is. Look at someone like Jalen Brunson. His fundamental base is so strong. Is Jalen Brunson going to out-jump you? No. Is he going to be the quickest player on the floor? No. The fastest player? No. Does he understand angles? Yes. Does he have a masterful mid-range game? Yes. Is he a cerebral point guard that can finish through contact? Absolutely. So his game is going to be good in the playoffs or wherever you put it. So I'm not a person that's saying the Knicks don't need more players. I'm just saying Jalen Brunson needs a little more respect. And people like Stephen A. Smith disrespecting him, who do you want that's better that's going to realistically come to New York? Yes, you set some money aside if the right situation comes about. But you also need to fill out your roster. And let me say this. I've been very critical of Julius Randle in the past. But Randle, now, he's not taking as many dumb threes. And he's playing with effort. I was one that was high on Randle leaving New Orleans and going to the Knicks. But when he started drifting, started wanting to be a point guard too much and all that, that's where I kind of cooled on him. But this maximum effort Randle, kudos to him because I like to watch him play like that. So I just think Brunson needs more respect, man. I think, Halliburton, all those guys get more respect than Brunson. But, she up there talking about AD, a man who quit on his team and went to play with LeBron James. Brunson could have won a title with LeBron James. So don't even start that type of stuff. This Brunson can win with the LeBron James in the bubble. So don't act like, AD didn't need a player as a security blanket that's better than him so he can just go out there and be talented. He did pretty much the same thing Kyrie did, winning a title. You know what I'm saying? Kyrie's ultra gifted and everything, but he can't lead no team. But Brunson is showing leadership qualities that he learned from Jay Wright. He learned from his dad. And he's a leader at the point guard position. So you can't understate those type of things and the way the guys in the locker room galvanize around him and, they respect him. So I just had to come make this video because I'm sick of it, man. Get a man his respect. Am I saying he's the best player ever? No. Am I saying he's one of the top point guards in the game? Absolutely. It should be treated as such. They have a star. This is a one-level star, like top-tier level NBA star. And they need to start respecting him as that. And those guys don't always win a championship. Dominique Wilkins never won a championship. Will you say he's a 1A? Absolutely. So cut it out, man. Not all 1As or guys that have played that role of 1A wins a championship. But, he got the Knicks in the best. Put it like this. Take Brunson off the team and put some of those people on that team, as currently constructed, and tell me how many people would have them in a better position than Brunson. I bet you that list ain't long. Exactly. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time. Peace.